Nice.
It is, when it comes to that. Talk about your position group and how you feel they played in the first 3 games.
Inconsistent. I think we gotta always strive to be better and more consistent. The beauty about football is, you can always get better. There's always room for improvement. But I thought when we were good, we were really, really good. We had some mistakes in the first game. We cleaned them up, played really well in the second game, and then, played pretty good in the third game overall. I mean, if you took 4 or 5 plays out of each of those starters, just alignment and stuff, they would have graded really high, over a 90. But those 4 or 5 plays were in there, and we got to clean that stuff up. But I'm happy. They're playing hard. They're practicing hard. They're in tune. They're in tune to the game plan. They're doing what we ask. So I think I'm really excited about seeing their trajectory and their consistency get better and better.
What's been your message to the guys about penalties and things like that?
Oh yeah, I mean you can't have penalties, obviously. So yeah, I mean the message is we look at the penalty when it's called. We review the film and we try to learn of what we can do better to avoid that. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. It was called. So you got to be able to adapt your game to make sure that you don't get those calls at all. That's got to be cleaned up.
Is that a technique thing to adapt?
I mean, it's a lot of different things. I'll just use the example of Josh in the Notre Dame game on the targeting, right? Did he hit him with his head? No, but did he play through the football, right? So you can't. It's hard to make a split-second decision when you're coming off the hash, you're sprinting full speed, the ball's in the air. Obviously you don't lead with your head, but at the same time, if he would have exploded through the football rather than through the man, there would have been no issue. So cleaning little stuff up like that and fixing it and making sure we can eliminate all those.
Looked like Josh got chewed out for a push out of bounds on the sidelines when Kalik actually pushed him in the back.
Yeah.
What happened on that one? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean,
was that Josh or was that Kalik?
It's a little bit of both, okay. And Josh gets chewed out because Josh had his hand under the guy's shoulder pad, clearly in the white, and in that situation, hey, the guy's out of bounds. Let's get my arm up. Let's not risk being called. They're going to call that. Right. So that's just, to me, that's just stupidity. That's not a split reaction play. That's not a, hey, I might have, arm grabbed them or done it. That's just, hey, I got to be smarter. This is the game of football. They're going to call that every time. So he deserved the chewing out.
How much of a weapon has Will Hard been so far?
Great. I mean, shoot, I think he's had 2 straight games with over 50-yard averages. I mean, it's big time. Anytime you can flip the field is huge. Anytime you can win the field position battle, which we've been doing, is big. So we got to keep him consistent and confident and going, moving forward. But he's been really good.
Is there something he's doing differently compared to last year, or is it just having the experience under his belt?
Strength, experience, confidence, just kind of all around. Just he got a lot stronger in the off season, got more flexible, consistent, learning who he is, in his drop angles and things like that, learning how to adapt to windy conditions and directional punting, just a whole gamut of things that, are clicking for him right now.
When Fogue left, I think people thought there might be some drop-off there, but talk about what Jake Moody's.
Jake, yeah. Well, we knew, evaluating him, how strong his leg was. What we didn't know is how mature he's able to come in and just take the job like that. He's got the strong leg, but obviously, when we directionally kick off and, when you get conditions there, you don't know how a young guy like that's going to react and be able to do it, but he's been phenomenal. He's hanging the ball up there. When he's asked to kick touchbacks, he's kicking touchbacks. Our kickoff team's been great again, so we're excited about that unit and his ability to make that unit run and go.
Is his hang time pretty similar to Fogue, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, Fogue was at some points was able to get it up there to a 4.4 hang. Jake's consistently around a 4.2. Okay. So he's getting there, and he will be there really fast. We're hoping this year. But yeah, so he's been really good. Anything else?
Time for a few more to Chris, if anyone has anything else.
Oh, Quinn, I mean,
Where is he right now? Obviously, he had the field goal last week, but
Yeah, he's missed one, and like I've told you guys before, you're not going to make every kick your entire life. It's how you react and what happens on the next kick. So, we've been the operation of that thing. We got a new holder in there, so you got to work through the operation and make sure we're good there. They're gaining more confidence in each other and in terms of snapper, holder, kicker. So I think he's good. He's on a trajectory. He's going to keep making all of his kicks, and we'd like him to make them all. But if he happens to miss one, we need to get back and make the next one.
what happened on the hold in Notre Dame?
Just a little high, a little inside, and just dropped it. Just a play that you want to eliminate. You want to eliminate those plays completely, and Will just slipped through his hands and he dropped it.
Brad's play against Notre Dame in the end zone, I mean, he's been a receiver. Is that one of those teaching moments where you say just high point the ball like you're going to catch it, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that. It's seeing the formation, seeing what's coming at you off the bat, and getting your depth right away. And then, Tyree didn't help him in on that one. Tyree jumped outside, on the receiver and let the receiver inside, so he didn't help Brad. Brad didn't see the formation, didn't get deep enough, quick enough, and then, and then didn't play the receiver. He played the ball. He was looking at the ball, instead of playing the receiver and then playing the ball. So he never worked to connect. So there was it's a combination of things, and it's just being in the moment the first time. Notre Dame, really the first time he stepped on the field. First time he stepped on a field as a safety ever, in his life. He was a receiver all through high school, all through his prep school. So, and he's very encouraging. I mean, he gets better every single day. So we're very excited and encouraged by him.
Even in the second half, he was like a totally different player in that game.
Calmed down, settled down, and knew, hey, I gotta go. This is me going the whole time here, and was definitely like a different player for sure.
How hard is it for those guys matched up in the slot and on those slant patterns and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of space there, and we do things to try to help them out and stuff, but, that's something where you got to get ready to go. You're a big physical safety worried about, the run or the middle of the field and all that, and then all of a sudden you're on a guy who's a lot of times their quickest, fastest guy on the field, and you got to cover. So your technique has to be perfect. You got to have a plan when you start, and then you have to realize their splits and what we're getting, what you're getting there too. Those guys have a lot on their plate. They line up, they're in man. Well, is it first down? What do they do on first down? What's the split of the receiver? What routes am I going to get? All those kind of things have to go through their minds, and then they got to revert back to their fundamentals and coverage. So, it's a difficult thing, but it's something we really work on, and we work on it every day.
Back to the penalties. When you're coaching them after a game like that, I mean, there's a fine line between being overly aggressive and technique. I mean, how do you stress that? I mean, they shouldn't back off, right? They shouldn't
No.
be aggressive, but I mean,
We're going to be aggressive, and we're always going to be aggressive, but we need to understand when to be aggressive, right? Like the Josh penalty out of bounds, the Glasgow special teams penalty out of bounds. When do we lay off? When do we be aggressive? Because it's on the field of play, and when do we don't? Those two penalties, you gotta lay off. There's no excuse. The other ones in the pass interference, you got to get your hands on, early and be aggressive, because in college football you can get your hands on when the ball's not in the air, but then you have to understand the route progression. When in the route is that receive? When is that ball going to be in the air? When do I have to disconnect in terms of getting my hands on? And when is he playing the ball, and how do I play the ball? I can't hook a guy. I gotta play through his hands. I gotta get my head back. So there's just moments when you have to understand when that ball's coming and when that penalty can be called.
Does it surprise you? I mean, a lot of these guys played last year. Does it surprise you that didn't click right away? For some of these penalties.
No, I mean, it's just, these guys are going 100 miles per hour, and, sometimes it's the 30th, 40th play, and they're going hard, they're a little tired, and they're going so, they're so locked in that, you just got to teach them that in a split second, you got to be able to react and know the situation that's coming.
Don talked about Jalen Kelly Powell being one of the guys that he really liked in the fall. Are you hopeful to get him back soon? And
Yeah, so he's back now.
Okay.
Yeah, he is back. He should, he looked 100% yesterday,
Okay.
finally, So it's been, he's been out for about 3 weeks, almost a month. And even last week he played a little bit, but he wasn't, his normal, quick, explosive self. But I was really encouraged by his practice yesterday. You can just see with your eyes that he feels good. So he's a guy that will hopefully get back in the mix quickly here.
You've watched a lot of Nebraska film. Jim said you had to go back and watch UCF, I think,
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit too. You're assuming that Martinez plays?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we got to prepare for both, obviously. You know, we're assuming he's playing, and you know, and then looking at UCF and then just seeing what all they're going to do and prepare for all of it. You know, there's a lot of stuff those guys do on special teams. I mean, you look back at all of them; they have, you know, different pods formations on their field goal. I mean, they have fake punts galore. They have formations. They do a lot of different stuff now. So it's a week of preparation where you got to be locked in and ready to adjust down on a lot of things they do, and it's similar to their offense, right? You know, they do a lot of different things. They put receivers in the backfield, you know, get them out of the backfield, and different, you know, mesh and pick routes and stuff like that. A lot of quarterback runs. So it's a really, really good week of preparation, you know, in terms of our mental preparation.
The big play of last week, was that just a miscommunication? The touchdown, the blown coverage?
Miscommunication, yeah. Well, it was just, you know, corner and safety,
Yeah.
you know, weren't on the same page, really. You know, and switching a call, you know, when the snap's happening. They ran that play right before and right after in the same stack and everything, and it was not an issue. You know, it's just one of those moments, you know.
Cool.
We good?
Thanks.
All right, thanks.